Excuse me. Shalom, shalom. First, I want to say, Kol Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachar Kodash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father. His true name is Yahweh, whom the world ignorantly calls God. In the name of his only begotten Son. His true name is Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus. In the name of the Holy Spirit, the Rachar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you, fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity, especially during these times. All right, shalom to you. All right, also shalom to the Akwaf that believe as well. All right, shalom to the other fellow laborers out there and believers that are scattered abroad the face of the earth, which are among the heathen, and even some of you look like the heathen, which are speckled Israelites. All right, to the whole household of faith, which is the elect, I want to say shalom. The brother Kakama Hardab back at you with another lesson, Lord, really edifying. And, it's the so-called Thanksgiving. And we know what it's all about. I've been in the heavy spirit, as always, throughout my life during this time of the year. I've always been pretty much in the heavy spirit, a lot of anger, sometimes sad at the same time. And it's due to me, descending from the people as Native American, which we know, that goes into the northern tribes, Gad, Reuben, and other, so-called indigenous peoples of the Americas, Ephraim, Issachar, all the northern tribes of the nation of Israel. All right. In particular, this is going into Gad and Reuben. And I entitled this video based off the precept of the book of Job 27 and verse 8. It says, "For what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he had gained, when the Most High taketh away his soul?" All right, so that's the name of this video. Excuse me. For what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he had gained? Okay. Now, the word hypocrite is chanap, hypocritical, godless, profane, hypocrite, irreligious. Excuse me. Well, that reminds me of Hebrews 12 and 16. All right, it speaks on who the profane is according to scriptures. Okay, Hebrews 12 and 16. Least there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. All right, so that's who the scriptures mention as being profane. Okay, and when you look at the acts and the history of Esau, Edom, his descendants, they are profane. Definitely profane. All right, when you look up the word profane, all right. See, the blue letter says, accessible, lawful to be trodden, a place is profane, unhallowed, common public place of men ungodly. Yeah, truly this man that's ruling over us is ungodly, okay? Strong's definition. It says, a heathenish, wicked. And we know the scriptures, all right, according to Malachi 1 and 4, calls Esau the wicked, okay? All right, it says he's a border of wickedness, okay? And then also Job 9:24, basic, simple, oldie but goodie scripture. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, okay? And we know that under the wicked's rule, all right, the people continually mourn, all right? And as well, that goes for us Israelites as well. All right, now this particular video is going to be about the 1830 Removal Act. Okay, which a lot of you so-called Negroes, and you so-called Latinos, all right, and you Native Americans that are not in tune to the history of Thanksgiving, you are celebrating the worshiping, or yeah, you can say that too, celebrating the death of your own people. Okay, this land was never given to the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. It was never sold to him. It was strictly taken by force, and this is going to prove it. Okay, this is the article from the National Geographic. All right, I'm gonna read a little bit of this article and bring out some more precepts. And Lord willing, is edifying. All right, May 28th, 1830, CE, Indian Removal Act. On May 28th, 1830, Congress passed the Indian Removal Act, beginning the forced relocation of thousands of Native Americans in what became known as the Trail of Tears. And this painting of our people, pretty much, if you look at the way they painted it, you could see the broken spirit, all right, within the painting. Okay, it says the article, on May 28, 1830, the United States Congress passed the Indian Removal Act, marking the government's clear-cut push to remove Native American tribes from east of the Mississippi. It says the Indian Removal Act opened land that indigenous peoples had previously called home, all right, to white settlement, which they're not settlement. They're not settlers, man. They were straight up murderers and rapers and robbers, man. Okay. It says the Indian Removal Act opened land that indigenous peoples had previously called home to white settlement and the expansion of slavery, further codifying injustices as the federal level that had long been underway. By the early 1800s, the U.S. federal government and several state governments had already frequently pushed indigenous tribes farther and farther west. Violence, threats, deception, and legal agreements, often treaties, were tactics used to transfer indigenous held land to white people, which they're not white people, man. They're the biblical Edomites, man. Okay? And this is a few centuries past, by the time this happened, because, you had the initial warring with the northern tribes, and when they passed the islands and they finally made it to the mainland of which is America today, you had Gad and treated Esau friendly, and Esau stabbed him in the back. All right, and then as well as us, those of us that well, I'll say this, my father's tribe, so-called Seminoles, the Creeks, Muskogee, all right, what have you. There was a resistance. All right, there was 3 major wars that were fought, to fight off Esau. Okay, but during this time, you had the act, passed to where, pretty much the damage was done. All right, and of course, you had what Esau had already written as a script, as the article has said, they already had, passed the Indian Removal Act, through Congress. All right, which that's the way they passed their legislative or laws. All right, Isaiah 10:1 says this: "Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees and their right grievousness which they have prescribed." Excuse me. And that's what happened. They already had pre-written laws to back them up in their campaign against us. The so-called indigenous tribes. Okay, and they are grievous because why? You look at all these acts and treaties, so-called treaties. So-called peace treaties. None of them was kept, and they always had deceptive means within them. All right, to overtake our lands. Okay. Now it says that's it on that. Let me grab another. I want to grab something else. All right, because something that goes into this Job 27:8, I want to grab. All right, Job 27:8. For what is the hope of the hypocrite, though he had gain, when the Most High taketh away his soul? And I want to look up something in this particular scripture. Gain, right? Gain comes from the Hebrew word batazai. Says to cut off, break off, gain by unrighteous violence. All right. Look at it. Look at it. 3, to gain wrongfully or by violence, man. And this is the way that they came to us, And we know that, of course, the Seminole resistance, stood the test of times, and it's talked about to this day within the tribes. I know them. I know a lot of the Gadites personally from the reservations. I'll say I know enough of them. I'll say that at least. We talk. I'm related to a lot of Gadites through my mother's mother. I speak with them as well, and we all talk about the same things. And pretty much we go into the history a lot when we sit around and talk. So it speaks about unrighteous, right? What it says, unrighteous violence, right? And it says to gain wrongfully or by violence, right? So let's check this out in the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiastes chapter 10. All right, and let's go to verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And we understand prophecy, okay? Those of us that are of so-called Native American descent through our fathers, and we those of us that understand the truth, more importantly, to understand this precious knowledge that the Lord have given us. We understand that these things had to happen because prophecy had to be fulfilled, okay? Excuse me. But this is the exact way how Esau came into power. The Lord was with Esau coming to power, but at the same time, while Esau was coming to power, he got everything by unrighteous dealings, man. All right, it says because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Okay, and this is how Esau have gotten the things he gotten, man, through unrighteous dealings, and he uses his legislative branch to do a lot of damage as well. Okay, because he'll pass something through Congress, through the legislative branch, and put it on the books or on the laws or law books rather. And then when he do it, he got his own law to back him up. All right, that he'll use against you. All right, and it's the same way he do to this very day. Okay. All right, this land was not given to him. It was simply taken by violence. And this is why when Esau, when you talk to Esau about Thanksgiving, they don't want to talk about it. Because why? They know that is a major stain on U.S. All right, so-called America, so-called America's history, man. Okay, the slaughtering, the murdering, the raping, the robbing of Native American lands. All right, which we're not even Native American. We're We're descendants from the northern tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay, that's who we are, truly. Okay, but let's keep reading. Let's go to the book of Micah. Got to bring out Micah 2, right? And you notice the subheading. It says, "Woe to the oppressors," right? Woe to oppressors. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning's light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Right. You know, this is precisely the point. All right. See, Esau do the evil and wicked things he do because it's in the power of his hands right now. But the Lord is bringing him out of power, man. You see? And they covet fields and take them by violence. This is so-called white man. He does it to this very day. All right. When he goes through these other lands, countries, all right, like right now, you look at what's going on in Latin America. Esau go down there and he got the blessing of the sword, right? Esau's blessing is a sword, right? And he go down there with this sword and he threaten them, all right, by force, all right, to do what he wants them to do according to his agenda, and they do it because it's in the power of his hands, It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his So they oppress a man in his house, even the man in his heritage. Right. And we know that even when you took down, the tribes, especially Gad, man, you had these boarding schools. Okay. These boarding schools was purposefully created to erase the heritage out of Gad and even some Reubenites that consented. You gotta be honest, man. You got some Reubenites that consented into this Indian Removal Act, and they agreed to the terms, and they was, betrayed as well. But nonetheless, it happened. It happened. Okay. So let's read a little more of the article. All right. Because that's exactly the way the so-called white man, which is Esau, Edom, that's how he got everything he got, through unrighteous dealings, right, and through violence, because his blessing is a sword, and that's how he got into these lands, man. Okay, it says by the early 1800s, the U.S. federal government and several state governments, had already frequently pushed indigenous tribes farther and farther west. Violence, threats, deception, and legal agreements, often treaties, were tactics used to transfer indigenous-held land to white people, which they're not white. There's no such thing as white people. All right, they're Edomites, okay? It says, though there was significant Native American resistance, many of these earlier efforts and ethnic cleansing were successful, right? Because they used the Gatling gun against Gad especially, and then also the smallpox. So he used the chemical sword, biochemical warfare, the smallpox, and also he used, the Gatling gun to take down Gad. Okay, and the Gatling gun, you have to look that Gatling gun up. That was something that, that was something that was hard to deal with, man. Because you better believe he came against, Reuben with that Gatling gun. It just happened, that the Lord was with Reuben to withstand Esau and defeat Esau, man. Let's grab a precept real quick. All right. Let me see here. Grab a precept real quick. I had one that just came to my mind, Shalakia. Let's go here. Let's go here real quick. Because, matter of fact, this is Genesis 49. And I'm starting verse 1, and I'll jump down to the point. It says, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. All right. And when you read the NLT, kind of say a little plainer. All right. The NLT verse 1, it says, then Jacob called Then Jacob called together all his sons and said, gather around me, and I will tell you what will happen to each of you in the days to come. Which, again, those are the last days. We're in the last days of Esau's society. All right, this is Esau's rule, and we're in the last days of his rule, which that goes into the Greek word aeon, which means the age. All right. So, jumping down to the point, in verse 19, it says, Gad. Well, matter of fact, we started verse, just keep on reading. Let's keep reading. Verse 2 on the KJV. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might. And you look up the word, I'm going to look up these words, okay? Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, in the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power, okay? Now, look up the words, okay? Might. The word is kach. It says strength, power, might, human strength, strength of angels, power of God, strength of animals, strength produced. And you know what? We are, mighty, man. Reuben is very mighty. I remember, I'm not boasting or bragging, but I just remember as a kid growing up how I excelled at sports, and I was like one of the strongest, kids, man, like that was near my age, 5 years above, even sometimes 10 years above my age, and I always stood out, and it's because the natural strength I had, like even, brothers know me, I work out, but I work out just because I know how, and it's one of my main hobbies I do outside the truth is just work out, you know what I mean? But I always was naturally strong. And I knew that I was really strong as a kid. It kind of freaked me out a little bit, you know what I mean? But Reuben, we displayed it a lot, even in sports especially, It says, beginning of my strength, right? It says the excellency of dignity. Let's look up these words. The excellency of dignity. All right, dignity. It goes into sha'ath, or this nasha, root word etymology. That's a nasha, to lift up, bear up, carry, take, carry, support, sustain, endure. All right, to take away, carry off, forgive, to be lifted up, be exalted, to lift oneself up, rise up. All right, yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, that's us, man. Let's see here, the excellency of power. Let's see what power means, okay? Power. All right. Itaz, or Itazah. Itaz, let me see. From the root word, strong, mighty, fierce. The root word is Izaz, to be strong, prevail, to make firm, strengthen. And when you go into the Seminole Wars, it was 3 major wars that was fought between the Reubenites, which is known as the Seminole Wars, and Reuben won all 3 major wars. Okay, during this time period. Okay. All right, we prevailed, but we didn't ultimately secure the lands. All right, we lost a lot of the land, but in the war we prevailed, and to this very day, the Seminoles are known as the unconquered people, or the unconquered Seminoles of the Florida Everglades. Okay. So, verse 4, it says, unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. And that goes into the history of what our patriarch did, to his father Jacob by sleeping with his woman, our wife. All right, but we are unstable. I mean, I wholeheartedly admit that. We are unstable, but very loving. All right, very loyal, very loving, very what's the word? It goes to dignity, rising up. Very mighty in strength, and also yeah, Reuben is very brotherly. We are very brotherly. I would say that. Excuse me. And I think all other tribes say that about Reuben. We all get that reputation of being brotherly, for the most part. Let's jump down to verse 19. It says, Gad, the troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. And that happened. All right, that happened when they touched ground or touched down on this mainland of America, as you know it today. They did overcome Gad. All right. See, you go in the story of Gad. Gad fought valiantly. These are straight up born warriors, man. Hey, listen, Gad is straight up warriors, man. Gad ain't no pushover by a long string of imagination. But prophecy had to be fulfilled. And even when Gad was being friendly to Esau, when Esau would fight against Gad, Gad showed them that they was nothing to really mess with. But it was just because the prophecy had to be fulfilled. Okay, the Lord had to take our might from us as a people, man. All the tribes fought very valiantly, You read the NLT, it says Gad will be attacked by marauding bands, but he will attack them when they retreat. And this happened a lot of times during that time period, okay? Gad was, scalp these damn devils, man. They would collect Edomite scalps because why? It was a war. And that represents, a strong warrior. You scalp your enemy. You conquer your enemy. You scalp them. So this did happen, man. All right, marauding bands did or attack Gad. Exactly, they did exactly that, man. And Gad, man, Gad still fought to the death, even through the smallpox, which wiped out a lot of Gadite tribes. Gad fought valiantly. Let's see a little more of the article real quick. It says, though there was significant Native American resistance, many of these earlier efforts at ethnic cleansing were successful. These anti-indigenous policies, coupled with the spread of diseases transmitted by settlers, had severely decreased the population of indigenous peoples in North America. However, there was still a substantial indigenous presence east of the Mississippi. Tribes living in what is now the U.S. Southeast at the time included the Cherokee. They're going into Reuben now. The Cherokee, the Choctaw, which my father's a out of that. They have that. I believe my father's out of that tribe of Reuben, the Choctaw. But you got a Gad and Reuben down there, but mainly it's Reuben. People. You look into the history, they say, "Oh, Gad, Gad is enlarged, according to Scripture, but that's mainly Reuben territory, But I believe my father is out of that. That's exactly where his bloodline goes back to. Indianola, which is a Reubenite town, all right, before Esau, came in or whatever. So, it says Cherokee, Choctaw, Chickasaw, and Muskogee Creek and Seminole. By the 1800s, these nations were known collectively as the 5 civilized tribes because they had adopted aspects of white settler culture. And, when they met us, us Reubenites, they was met with force, brute force. Okay. Like I read the scripture in Genesis 49. All right, might. All right, beginning of Jacob's strength. I mean, it happened that way because this is what the prophecy said in Genesis 49. So, continuing on, it says, pressured by the U.S. government, many copied the ways settlers dressed, their educational system, their practice of Christianity, their use of plantation agriculture, and their enslavement of people of African descent, which that's a lie. Reuben, which you can look at the history. Reuben we entreated our brothers very brotherly because why? We knew they was our brothers. You go into the history of it, you gotta dig for it. But we knew that we was kin. I would say the way it said on the internet. We knew that we was kin, and also we took them in and gave them, our daughters to have wives, and they was a part of us, part of the tribe. Hence, you have it where you have a sect that's called the Black Seminoles. Okay, excuse me. That's Israelites of the Southern Kingdom of Judah that fought with Reuben. Okay, excuse me. It says, where am I at? It says, pressured by the U.S. government, many copied the ways of settlers, dressed, their educational system, their practice of Christianity, their use of plantation and agriculture, and their enslavement of people of African descent, which they were not African. They was Israelites of the kingdom of Judah. All right, they can be Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Okay, mainly Judah, Benjamin. All right, because I have one of my great grandparents happened to be a Benjaminite. All right, he's a woman. All right, well, my grandparents' mother was a Benjaminite woman. All right, so continuing on, it says, where I'm at. Oh, I spoke on something. I want to bring this out real quick. Yeah, God. Let's go to Deuteronomy 15. Because Reuben, we kept a brotherly pact with our brothers. And I'm going to prove it to you. Deuteronomy 15:7. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thine hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need and that which he wanted. And Reuben did that. All right. You go into the history, Reuben did it. Matter of fact, bear me 1 second. Okay, Shalom, I'm back. I want to grab this though. I try to look some up real quick. But anyways, look at this history. It says, Florida escaped slaves tended to live among the Seminoles, who often adopted them as kin. All right. This continued until Florida ceased being a Spanish territory in 1821. Alternatively, runaway slaves formed separate bands living in close proximity to the Seminoles. When you go into the history, which I should have looked it up before I made this video, but slack it. You can do it in your own time, though. The point is, you got to dig a little bit, but you go into the history of Reuben and Judah. Reuben knew our forefathers knew they was kin, and Reuben took them in. All right, this is why Esau called them Black Seminoles. Okay, that's the point. But let's get back to the article. All right, it says because I'm going over the time I want to hold you. So, but Lord, wasn't you being edified? The enslaved could be adopted. Hold on, let's see. Originally enslavement by Native Americans was not the same as that practiced by white settlers, right? Because You don't abuse your neighbors. You know, even if they're your servants, you don't abuse them. There's a way you deal with a Hebrew slave, with an Israelite slave. Okay, and then during this time, we knew that we was brothers. Okay, I got pictures and everything to prove that we looked alike in some to some degree. Okay, even in complexion. But you don't misuse or mistreat your own people. Okay, so essentially, Reuben kept a brotherly pact with Judah. Okay, that's why it says that what originally enslavement by Native Americans was not the same as that practiced by white settlers, because what Esau was, the white settlers is Edomites, by the way. Well, what Esau would do is he would do all kind of shit to Jake, make him breed through incest, all kind of shit, forcibly, buck breaking, you name it, all kind of hell upon the tents of Judah. And Reuben didn't do that to Judah, you know, raping their wives and shit, separating their families and shit. Reuben didn't do that. Reuben was like, hey, come on, y'all brothers come with us, and they fought with us. We gave them, help them build a house or a tent, and they needed, to continue their own lineage or legacy. Gave them, daughters to wives. Okay. It says, being enslaved was not an inherited or permanent status. Then a slave could be adopted into the family. This changed as the cultures and beliefs of these tribes became virtually identical to the United States, that's not true. Okay. So still, the civilized practices of 5 tribes did not stop the white settlers growing demands for their lands. And you can read the rest of this on your own time, but the point is, all right, and the point is, the way they'll give you the truth and the lie at the same time. So you gotta carefully read through this history, But a lot of the things that went on during this time, they're gonna, cover that, because they don't want you to know the truth. Okay. Bear me 1 second. All right, Shalaki, I'm back. I had to use the restroom. But as I was saying, a lot of history you gotta, read through it. You'll see, everything I've told you. You can fact proof it, and you'll see you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And Lord willing, I can find some articles that I could put in the description box. But let's continue on. I'm gonna get ready to wrap. Grab 3 more precepts. Says 2 historic events: the Louisiana Purchase of 1803 and the War of 1812 spared this land grab. The Louisiana Purchase bought the U.S. government the exclusive right to purchase or forcibly take lands from various indigenous governments. Lacking enough funds to pay veterans of the war in 1812, the U.S. government offered them land in what are now the state of Illinois, Michigan, and Arkansas, lands occupied by indigenous peoples. Excuse me. As in the Southeast, Native American tribes occupied huge swaths of what the U.S. called the Northwest Territory, now in the U.S. states of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, and Wisconsin. An alliance of tribes from this region, including the Delaware, Potawatomi, and Shawnee, led by a war chief of the Miami tribe, Little Turtle, had resisted expansion and defeated U.S. forces in 1790 and 1791. So you can see right there, that's Gad fighting back, okay? But again, see, these things happen to us because prophecy had to be fulfilled, man. You devils brag and boast. It wasn't your might that took us down. It was the Lord word had to be fulfilled, which is the words of prophecy. Okay, let's get that real quick. One of my favorite precepts. When you devils talk crazy against, our people, all right, you think it was by your own might. No, hey man, the Lord did that, man. Okay? Had the Lord not take our might from us, you wouldn't even rule, man. You're the weakest, man. You're the weakest, all right, of the nations created, man, physically. Isaiah 42 and verse 24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. And that's ultimately why the Lord did what he did, because you look at how we got kicked out of our land to begin with, which is the land of Israel, as you know it today, formerly the land of Canaan. We were kicked out first, starting with Jeroboam, leading the northern tribes off, and idol worshiping, and different things like that. And the Lord got wroth with us and kicked us out of our land before he kicked out what you know as the southern kingdom today. Okay. And we never returned as a vast majority, even though you had remnants or sprinkles of us still over there. Still, the vast majority of the northern tribes came to the Americas that you know them today. And this is how they even found us, all right? Because the scriptures tell you how you can find, the lost 10 tribes, all right? Or 2nd Ezra 13 says the 10 tribes, okay? And Esau said the lost 10 tribes, but we're the northern tribes of Israel, okay? The so-called Native Americans and so-called Spanish or Latinos. But the point is, the Lord, gave us for a spoil because we had disobeyed his command, all right, by not keeping his laws, commandments, and statutes and judgments, which he had given unto us, all right, through our forefathers. Okay, this is the reason why Esau was able to do what he did, man. Okay, and now you look at what's going on now. All right, Esau is being prepared for judgment because why? Everything that he done unto us, all right, it shall be done. All right. But the thing is, or the difference is, okay, we're not going to do all the wicked things that Esau done to us. We're not going to do it to him. We're gonna put Esau in slavery through righteousness, man. Okay, so let's go get some scriptures to close up. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna get one. In fact, let's go here. Let's see here. Oh. It's not clicking on this. Lock it. Here we go. It's like my phone, my app. It's acting a little funny. Let's go to the other app, see what goes on. Grab these precepts to get out of here. Or when you're being edified, though. Let's see here. Let's see. It was a precept I want to grab. Maybe the 3rd chapter. Colossians 3:25, it says, "But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he had done, and there is no respect of persons." So, you Edomites have done great wrong unto us. All right. It says that love working no ill to his neighbor. And so they act like they love us, but we know that ultimately they were deceiving us. All right, because those movies that show and depict what Gad and Reuben was doing, the ones that signed, the treaties, like Bare My Heart and Wounded Knee. That's a good movie. It show you about Sitting Bull. He's a Gadite warrior chief, and show you the things they went through. All right, and that show you or depict to you how Esau was doing. All right, to Gad. All right, let's go here to the book of Psalms 144. Matter of fact, let's get this precept real quick. Yeah, let me see. This is the book of Psalms. It says the book of Psalms, in 55, Psalms chapter 55 and verse 20. See, this app acting crazy. Salakia. Psalms 55 and verse 20. All right, and it reads, it says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. Right, and you look at, what Gad was doing, being friendly to Esau, even helped this devil survive the winters, all right, because Esau didn't know how to survive the winters over here. And Gad helped him survive the winters, show him how to heal himself and different things of that nature. And what did Esau do? He turned around and stabbed Gad in the back. Okay, so that's an example of him putting forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. All right, it says he had broken his covenant. All right, what's a covenant? Agreement. Every peace treaty you made with Gad and Reuben, you always broke. All right, you always broke them, and this is the reason why Reuben. This is why our forefathers fought you, man, to the death, man. Even because they know that you was the devil. All right, the so-called white man is a straight up devil, man. Okay, and he knows it. Verse 21: the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, and that's exactly what was going on. All right, and Andrew Jackson, I believe that was the guy that was during this time. He was he was the main one. All right, Andrew Jackson, that devil, he was known for warring with the tribes, man. All right, yeah, here you go right here, man. This devil, man. Yeah, Jackson, Andrew Jackson. And there was plenty of scrimmages or battles. All right, but the most notable ones, that were highlighted was the 3 Seminole Wars. Okay. But the point is, Esau, you got to pay for these things, man. All right. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And this is so-called white man. All right. This is why you don't do a deal with the devil, man. And Sirach 12 says what? Never trust thine enemy. All right. That's Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy. All right. Because why? He's your fucking enemy, man. Your enemies don't have your best interests at heart. So you don't supposed to trust your enemy, man. Okay? And your enemy Israelite is different than your enemy heathen. All right? So actual heathen, that's your enemy. That's your enemy. But then you can have your fellow Israelite, that's your enemy. All right? And that's different. Okay? That's one of your own people. Excuse me, and even you would deal with them, a certain way or accordingly. Okay. So you're going to receive the evil that you've done. All right. To us, you're going to receive the same evil. That's why it says in Revelation 13 and 10, he that leadeth into captivity, all right, will go into captivity, and he that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. All right, because that's how you overcame, all right, Gad, and that's how you try to overcome Reuben. Through the sword. Okay. So the Lord's preparing you for judgment, man. Okay. And this is why the Lord's preparing even your descendants, all right, for the day of slaughter, man. Let's get that. Isaiah 14 and 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Yeah, right. And you Edomites, man, you've been prepared for slaughter, man. Okay, just like you slaughtered a lot of our people. All right, the Lord is going to slaughter you. All right, the Lord is going to slaughter you, devils, man. Okay. It says that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. All right, the Lord is going to literally, okay, prepare you for the slaughter, man. See, your own blessing, your own deceitfulness got you all puffed up. You don't realize that the Lord is preparing you, all right, for blood, man. Because why? You don't hate blood. Let's get that. Every time you turn and look, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, begin with your elites, are shedding blood. All right, and that's the main way you make your money. How you think you were able to make money off America? America became great because why? The downfall of Israelites, man. You took down, us northern tribes, took down our lands. And these lands have plenty of resources, man. How many times you just seen Gad got a land, all right, or Reuben got land, and Esau found it's a resource in that land, then he come with another act or law to pass, trying to get you to sign, or he's going to take it by force. Anyway, let's continue. Ezekiel 35:5, it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and it's talking about Esau, by the way, okay? It mentions Mount Seir, but we know who dwelt in Mount Seir. All right. Genesis the 36th chapter and the 8th verse, man. Esau, Edom, the father of the Edomites. Okay. So let's read Ezekiel 35:5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right. So this is what Esau done. The so-called white man done, man. By the force of the sword, man. Smallpox is a chemical sword, okay? I don't know what this is all about. Slucky. All right? Smallpox is another form of the sword, man. A sword is created for what? To destroy, to cause death. He intentionally gave our people smallpox, man. All right, that was a deliberate or blatant thing he did. And he don't want to face that fact because why? There's a shameful spewing on his glory. And it's all coming out right now at its very end of his society. See? It says, verse 6, therefore as I live, saith the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Said thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So the Lord's preparing you Edomites into blood, man. This is no secret, man. And this is why you don't want the prophets, all right, the men of the Lord out here, all right, telling you what's going to happen to you, man, because you know it's coming, man. You know it's coming. All right. We just being patient and wait on the Lord, man. Because we know that surely these things are going to come to pass, man. All right. Even though it may tarry a little bit, we know it's going to surely come. All right. Here's the patience and faith of the saints. The saints are us Israelites, man. All right. So-called Negroes, Latino, and Native Americans. All right. Which we are the Israelites, the ones of us that believe and do the Lord's will. We're going to see the downfall of our enemies, man. Okay. And that's why the Lord is going to take out vengeance on you, all right, through his people, man. Okay. Because you literally put the sword to us, man. Okay. Amos 1:11. Gotta bring that out too. It says, thus said the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword. Yeah, his brother is Jacob. That's Edom's brother. I remember Esau is Edom, and who is Esau, Edom's brother? Jacob, whose name changed to Israel. Okay? That represents us Israelites. That's why there's so much hatred and tension between the Israelites and the Edomites. We were not made to love each other. We were made to hate each other. That goes back to that enmity that the Lord put between the two, going back to the time of Adam and Eve, man. It says, thus said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Shai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Okay? Even unto this very day, man. I mean, you even had the nerve to set up these $5 Indians, all right, which are number Edomites, all right, that were set up to get the benefits that you act like you was giving to Gad. Movies like the Killers of the Flower Moon, that exposed you damn devils, man, of what you was fucking doing, man. And that king guy was a goddamn Amalekite, small hatter, man. And you look that up, he was a small hatter. All right. So it starts with Amalek. But this is what's going to happen, man. The Lord's going to actually take vengeance on you, damn devils, all right, by the hand of his people, man. Let's close with this. Ezekiel 25:12. It says, "Thus said the Lord power, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and had greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus said the Lord power, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom and will call off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword." Some of you damn devils, man. You're going to fall, man. All right, by the edge of the sword. Your own blessing the Lord gave you, he's going to take you out with that, and he's going to put us, his people, over you, and we're going to rule over you with a rod of iron, which is a scepter, a ruling scepter, and we're going to have spiritual powers, and we're going to do some work on you devils, man. Screaming, thus said the Holy Scriptures, man. In verse 14, "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai." And this is the reason why, we just patiently waiting on this, man. Man, it makes me excited to see that your kingdom is falling. I be patiently waiting, but I be inside rejoicing because I see the fall of my fucking enemy, man. My number one enemy is Esau, Edom. Okay? And it's beautiful to see he's falling. All right? And to know that he's falling for a righteous reasoning. And to know we're going to rule over him and get our payback under our Lord Yahweh Shai. All right? Man, it's going to be beautiful in the kingdom. Anyways, with that, hey, I want to say, Lord willing, this video has been edifying. I kind of, ranting a little bit, but hey, Lord willing, it's been edifying to you, sincere Akim and Akwaf out there. Hey, with that, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom to the elect, and Lord willing, I'll see you in the next video. Shalom.